Hey everybody, it's Jim from Cigars, and today I am reviewing the Dunbarton Tobacco Trust Sobremesa Brulee. That's my Spanish accent. Bear with me a little bit because you're probably saying, God, I never heard of this cigar. What the heck's he reviewing this for? This is actually an up-and-coming smoke. Last month or so, I've seen so much social media buzz on this, and I actually saw it just a couple days ago in a mainstream catalog. So although this company does not get very good cigar store distribution, I think this brand is gonna become very popular. The specs in this cigar, this comes in 4 sizes, and I happen to buy the biggest one, which is a double Corona, which is not my cup of tea exactly. It's 7 inches by 54 gauge. That's a pretty monster size, especially for a Connecticut type cigar. So this is the Brulee. This is the Connecticut version of the Sobremesa cigar. The other one is a medium body cigar. This, of course, is pretty mild cigar. These are fairly high end. This is a $15 suggested retail, I think. I didn't pay that much for it because I found a deal on one of the online places, which is where I suggest you go as well. I would have to drive. I looked at on the Dunbarton website. I'd have to drive about 8 hours to get to the nearest store that they showed that carries these retail. So I think I'll let the Postal Service handle that. The word Sobremesa actually has an interesting connotation. It's a Spanish word, of course, and it doesn't mean anything specific. It means over the table in English, but what it really means in Spanish is that time period of sitting around the table with your family and friends after a big delicious meal and kind of just talking and relaxing. So that the Sobremesa is what that connotates. I'm going to get this baby lit up, and I will get back to you with my first impressions in a moment. First impressions on this Sobremesa Brulee. Very nice construction. 3-seam cap, which is common in very good cigars. The wrapper is nice and clean. One thing about the Connecticut wrapper on here, this is an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper. It's pretty sturdy. I don't know if you've ever smoked Connecticut's where the wrapper falls apart. It's thinner than paper. And this seems to have a little bit of sturdiness to it, which I appreciate in a Connecticut cigar, especially on this one because it's going to be around a while. And draw, very good. First impression on taste is very good as well. Smoke production I really like. Connecticut's are good for that generally, but this has really good smoke production. So far so good on this. I'm going to smoke up the rest of it and get back to you in a few minutes. I'm well past the halfway point on this Dunbarton Sobremesa Brulee. I gotta always think about that one. That's quite a mouthful. Anyway, one thing I wanted to point out is a little chip in it that occurred, and the interesting thing about that is if you've smoked any number of Connecticut's, you know when there's a little flaw in the wrapper like that, it can be the beginning of the end. It's going to crack. It's going to unpeel. You're going to have all sorts of problems. But this one hung together really good. I still think this is a sturdy wrapper. I kind of manhandle cigars a little bit, so I'm gonna blame myself as much as the cigar for that one. Taste-wise, I gotta say this is really a good tasting Connecticut cigar. Very complex, really good hints of vanilla in there that I got that were very impressive. Body-wise, I don't know. I'm going to give this a 2.5. It's not a real weak Connecticut. It's got enough to be interesting, but it certainly isn't approaching a medium at all. Taste and construction and everything else, smoking experience, I got to say 9 out of 10. I really think this is a good cigar. If you're a Connecticut smoker and you're willing to spend a few extra bucks to try a good Connecticut cigar, I think this one is worth your time. Check online. Retailers don't really carry it as much as they should have, but that may change. Dunbarton Sobremesa Brulee. All right, I'll see you next time.